Hello and welcome to the Back Nine Report. My name is Carlos Torres, and along with Fred Alvader, we check in on the world of golf to bring you the latest news, insights, analysis, interviews, recaps, previews. Hey, we cover anything and everything golf. In other words, if it happened in golf, we have it for you. And Fred, we have to talk about the PGA merchandise show, but before we get to that, how are you today?
Hey, Carlos, I'm fantastic. I'm actually right now I'm here in Washington, D.C., visiting my son and his family. They just had a new baby back around December the 10th. So he's still a little bundle and a lot of fun. And they've got two other boys. And so I've been playing with the grandkids and just having a blast.
That's amazing. I mean, I saw the pictures of the picture that you posted, and proud granddad there. Great moment, but I wish him the best, definitely. And but anyway, I know last week you were in Orlando for the PGA merchandise show, and every year, of course, last year because of the pandemic, it had to go virtual. This year, finally, it was back into an in-person event. And it's the major, right, of the merchandise industry, of golf merchandise industry. And it's something that usually we're waiting for just to see, like we do in technology for the consumer electronics show every year. You want to see what is the new things coming up, what innovations are coming, the big, demo day, something that is big, right? You have like the 360 degrees around with demos about from the biggest companies and all those innovations. But I believe this year we didn't get those to come. So please tell us about that demo day and the whole thing about what you saw on the PGA merchandise show.
Yeah, Carlos, we knew going in that it was going to be a little different this year. We knew it was going to be scaled back. Of course, there was a mask requirement inside the convention center and when you were in the actual show, and that turned some people off. And we knew that with COVID concerns, still some people were not willing to travel and not willing to be around large crowds and things like that. So we knew that it was going to be somewhat smaller, but it was really about half of what it normally is for the show itself. And probably if we saw the actual numbers, and that's an estimate that it was half, if we see the actual numbers, I think it'll probably be more like 40% once we get the final numbers in. But that being said, everybody was glad to be there. Everybody was glad to be there. Because it wasn't so crowded, you could talk to the vendors and the exhibitors. You could find out about their products. It wasn't wall to wall, shoulder to shoulder, fighting for every square inch of space on the floor. You could actually move around and see people and talk to them about their wares, their products, and what was happening with their company. So that side of it was very good. The PGA show started back in 1954 with just a few vendors getting together in Dunedin in a parking lot, in a shopping center parking lot, and selling their products to some golf pros. And it's grown. Carlos, normally there's like 40,000 attendees to this thing, okay? They build as 10 miles of aisles. It's a million square feet of convention space in the Orange County Convention Center. So it's a really big event. I mean, you never walk as much as you do when you're in this thing. You're walking all day long and talking to people. It's unbelievable. So this year, if we say that it was half the size, there was about 20,000 people there. And I'm not sure there was even quite that many. That was fairly well attended by the media. A lot of guys that I know and work with in the golf media were there, and they were glad to be there. It was nice to see these guys again. But it is a major networking event, and that's one of the nice things about the PGA show is that people that you talk to on the phone all year or via email, you actually get to see, stand in front of, and talk to, whether in the media or they're a club company or a vendor of some kind selling apparel or something. So that's one of the things. Networking is always a big issue with this, but if not as many vendors come, if not as many, like Titleist wasn't there and TaylorMade and, the big names did not show up this year. So, I know COVID and that's a convenient excuse. Okay. But I think the real bottom line here is, Carlos, that these large companies see they don't have to spend these millions of dollars to exhibit in a show like the PGA show. Virtual selling has become so successful that they don't have to be face to face talking to people. They're regional people and the people they've got out there and doing everything via the internet or your computer seems to work just fine. The other problem with this is that companies are running so close on inventories now of getting new product in, they're all behind on shipping and getting things out. They didn't have the products to display anyhow. So they're selling more than they've got. Why go spend the money to go to Orlando's to send staff, pay for hotel rooms, food, all that stuff when they just don't have to do it? So, and I think, Carlos, I'm just afraid that, like the dinosaurs, the PGA merchandise show and these big shows are kind of becoming extinct.
You know, given weight to what you're saying, right? I just wonder if it's really that, because anyway, you have to like taking the cue from the Consumer Electronics Show, which this year was back to an in-person, and it was pretty successful. Of course, it wasn't as usual, like just a PGA merchandise show, but it's something that vendors alike, because one of the things is that this is not something that is open to everybody that can just go there and assist to that event, right?
No, you have to be in the media, you have to be in the golf industry, or you have to be a club professional PGA member.
Right. So given that it's not like an open event to everybody like the Consumer Electronics Show is, it's for the media and the personalities and people from the industry. I believe that the best way for them to actually show, even though you have the virtual way to show to the consumer, but to the ones that are really going to try it out and then be the advocates for that product, which is the media and the people that are in the industry, you really have to show it. I mean, and there's no better way I see that doing it in this kind of event. So I wouldn't rule it out yet. I think that, yes, I understand the point that you are going to spend a lot of money, but again, that is marketing money that you already have, or you already are being budgeting for all the time. So if the media is going to take it, or the industry people are going to say, like, if I'm not seeing it, I'm not going to feel, if I would be that way, I would be like, well, I don't know about the product, so I haven't seen it, I haven't tested it. Yeah, you can ship it to me and all that, and I can see, but it's not the same to have the person from the manufacturer where you can then ask questions about the process and how things are working, and some inside information that you can get so you can actually use it to sell it forward. So I still don't think that this type of events are going to go away, at least the PGA Merchandise Show, because it's something that is a marketing, and like you were saying, it's a networking event that, like you were saying, you were happy to see some of your colleagues there from the media as well, so they were also happy. So that's something that plays into the manufacturers as well. I think we have to see next year to see finally how the COVID thing is going on. I don't know, we never know when this is going to end, but if it stabilizes or at least starts to be like it's going, the trend is that everybody's learning to live with it, and there's ways that well, we're trying to adapt to it. So if it's that way, I think that maybe not next year, but in the next few years, I think it should be back to where it was.
Well, we can hope so. And another factor here is too, Carlos, that this is the last year for the contract for the Orange County Convention Center. The Orlando Convention Center. And so the PGA has made committed resources, and the Omni Hotel has built the big convention center out there in Frisco near you, out there in Dallas. And so there's been no official announcement, but it's expected that future shows will be held there in Frisco going forward. So will Dallas, will more centralized location like that bring more people in rather than coming clear to Florida? Don't know. But it's definitely changing. It's changing location. And I don't know if it will be as well attended as it has been in the past. I'm sure it's not going away. But the other thing I want to mention too, you talked about the demo day coming and being able to see and feel and touch all the products. Normally, Carlos, there's over 100 exhibitors just for the demo day. And you mentioned it's a 360-degree driving range out there at Orange County National Golf Club, and over 100 vendors. They fill up the whole driving range, right? And there'll be anywhere from 15 to 18,000 people attend that. Okay, I mean, it's just so crowded, you can't believe it. It's so well attended. This year it was down to 40 exhibitors, and one of the exhibitors I talked to, I didn't go out there, but one of the exhibitors I talked to said it'd be stretching to say there was 400 attendees that went to the demo day. So it just, without the big companies there, they were not going to go out to see the smaller companies. And plus it was not a real pleasant day. It was cold and wet. And so people just didn't go out there this year, which was absolutely amazing to me.
Well, we'll see. It's something that definitely should be back to where it was. I still, I'm not going to rule it out, but we'll see what happens. I mean, the PGA merchandise show for some reason, not for some reason, for a reason, is called the major of the golf industry. So hope you enjoy it. And anyway, Fred is always there. And since it's coming next year, it'll be easy for me to go. I mean, it's just 10 minutes away from me.
We will do that, buddy. We will be there.
We'll be there anyway.
Broadcast live from there.
We should do that. So anyway, thank you for joining us. It's always our pleasure to bring you the latest in the world of golf news and information. Remember to subscribe to our channel so you can keep up to date with the latest videos that we publish. Thank you for joining us.